Anthropic just introduced native computer use capabilities within Claude Desktop. This is not controlling your browser, but actually being able to use any app on Mac OS, which is kind of crazy. You are essentially giving control of your computer to Claude Desktop app. Now, this has some pretty amazing applications that it's going to open up. There are also some security concerns and definitely some limitations that I want to talk about, but I think this is going to change how we work. And you can combine this with some of the other features like dispatch by using your computer completely remotely through your phone, which is kind of incredible to think about. So in this video, I want to walk you through what exactly this feature does, what are the limitations, what are the capabilities, and some other aspects that you need to consider before you start giving Anthropic keys to the kingdom. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so the announcement video on X has more than 15 million views in almost 5 hours, which is kind of incredible. But Anthropic has recently been on a roll. They're releasing features after features, and each one of them is actually really useful. These are not some gimmicks. Anthropic is doing things in a very natural way, which is aligned with their overall goal of automating knowledge work. Now, a lot of people are going to compare these new features with OpenClaw, which I think is not a fair comparison anymore. Anthropic feature releases are very deliberate, and they're mostly targeted towards a knowledge work, not an assistant or chatbot or agent. OpenClaw is more of a personal assistant with a friendly tone, which is not the case for Anthropic's releases. Okay, so this new feature works with dispatch feature. You can use it within Cowork as well as the Claude code if it's running within the Claude desktop. I think some of this is powered by Vercept, which was a startup recently acquired by Anthropic less than a month ago, but it seems like they're already making some really good progress. Now, traditionally, when people talk about computer use agents, they primarily talk about browse and control agents. That's what we have seen. But with this new computer use capability, Anthropic takes it to a whole new level. They are actually talking about controlling your computer, so the agent can use any application that is running on your Mac OS device. At the moment, it's only limited to Mac OS. Windows and Linux support is coming soon based on their announcement. Now, in order to enable this, you'll need to upgrade your Claude desktop app if you want to use it along with the dispatch feature. Then you also need to update your phone app as well. So after upgrading, you're going to see computer use. You'll need to enable it. It also needs extra accessibility options because it's going to be using your computer. Now, this happens per app, so I think it's going to ask you for that. This lets Claude take screenshots and control your mouse and keyboard the way you would do it. Okay, before showing you how it works, let's talk about some current limitations. Your desktop needs to be active. For complex tasks, it probably is going to take a few tries. It can be very slow, sometimes painfully slow, and you're just sitting over there watching it go to work. But this is extremely helpful if you're away from your computer and you use your phone to actually perform actions, not only run code, but actually use different apps. And then it's only available for Pro and Max plans. Now, there are limits to what exactly it can do. So some of the constraint Anthropic has put that it's not going to engage in stock trading or investment interactions, inputting sensitive data, and gathering and scraping facial images. These are the things that it's not going to do. Browsers and inputting data, for those you probably want to just use the Claude for Chrome extension. Now, something to be very mindful of, it has memory. So Cowork has memory, which means Claude can learn how you work and retain context across sessions. You don't want to probably share any sensitive information. Now, you probably remember the recall feature within Windows. This was something that Microsoft was going to release, but then there was a huge backlash and they decided not to release this. But now with a feature like computer use in Claude, we are actually supercharging the recall feature that Windows was supposed to have. Okay, so to show you an example of how this works, we can ask it, use your computer use capabilities to open the DaVinci Resolve app on macOS and tell me what was the latest project that we worked on. In certain cases, this is going to ask us for permission before taking any action. So right now you can actually see that it's asking me to allow it to use DaVinci Resolve for this specific session. Now we're going to allow this. Also, you can use the same computer use capability with the dispatch feature. So right now it has opened DaVinci Resolve on another window. And in the process, it takes screenshots to make sure that it can see the windows. My screen recording is interfering with it. Okay, that is actually interesting to see. Interesting that it's able to actually switch between displays as well. Okay, so I actually moved the DaVinci Resolve to the same screen where we have the Claude desktop app running. So it's switching between the screens now, which is really interesting. Now I think it figured out where exactly DaVinci Resolve is, right? And here it's able to click on different windows. So it's doing things exactly like what a human would do. It's able to use these apps natively. Now in the process, it can be very slow. So keep that in mind if you decide to use the app. And then based on that, basically these are the different windows or the different videos that I worked on. Now let's see if I ask it, can you go to the Citibank website and log in? I will provide you with the login information. Probably it's going to use the Chrome or Claude for Chrome, but it says that I can't log in into the banking website on your behalf. Use your computer use agent to open Chrome, go to the Citibank website, and then I'll walk you through how to log in. Okay, it's actually going to access Chrome, but it says that I won't be able to enter your login credentials, right? So this is actually a good feature. There is this safety layer on top of the computer use capabilities, which is pretty nice. And that's exactly what you would expect from an agent that you want to use for knowledge work. Now, these are very early days. I will be testing this more thoroughly and will share my experiences. But Anthropic is releasing features like crazy. And it's just an exciting time to be around. Anyways, do check it out. Link to it is going to be in the video description. Please let me know your thoughts. What are the different use cases that you can see? What are the potential problems that you can see with an approach like this? Anyways, I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching. And as always, see you in the next one.